You are entering the world of Master Shaman PaLiChee with PaLiChee Healing. We discuss here the universe, enlightened shamanism, and our world, informing the misinformed. Warmest blessings, everyone. Warmest blessings. If you're new to the channel, go like, subscribe, and hit that notification button now. Today we are going to have a talk on self-rise versus self-rise. What does that truly mean, and what are the two differences in the definitions, how people have been talking about them, and so on and so forth. If you don't know me, I'm Master Shaman PaLiChee with PaLiChee Healing. Most people have defined the term self-rise to literally be, yet it's more than just researching or looking up man-made resources so that one can rise to become a shamanic healer or a unique healer on their own. Today, we will explore two different understandings of self-rise, one that's commonly accepted and another that is rarely discussed. Warmest blessings. I'm Master Shaman PaLiChee with PaLiChee Healing. My spiritual journey began as a young child at the age of 2-3 through spiritual encounters, unexplainable shamanic illnesses, near-death experiences, and so on. Going through comas and such things like that. We have helped thousands of people through enlightened shamanic and transformational healing on a global scale. And I'm here to inform the misinformed from strictly my enlightened shamanic perspective. All links you need from me are in the description below. If you're watching from someplace in the world, please type it down or type it to the chat on the sidebar. I'd like to know where everyone is watching from. Nhớ ya đâu ya hu ya đâu ya rong nu no ya rong nu mo no ya rong mo guya Master Shaman PaLiChee tôn đó ni thả sổ hoa sổ chua no cho hồ YouTube ni mu share thia like thia subscribe cho cú li channel nên nó cú tôi thả nu no ya thả cho kia tia sổ nâng sổ yai tu khen ya rong i cha thế tia là ya ha tia ya rong li cho nên cho tu to thả đua lo ha tia nay sổ nay tu khen là yên tàu ya là ha tia self rise nó ya lo lu ha tia self rise nó ya tia sai to tia sổ nâng tu khen là ya sổ tu khen là ôn nâng oi yai là bảo cho ya cho cha là ya ha tia là mua cái chủ cái gì thua đa phò ấy cái thế li mu ô tô ít tu niệm nâng là ít tu chỉ nâng đầu tu khen cú ya ít tu niệm nâng chỉ nâng chỉ yai là niệm nâng này yai cú ya tu thơ khí thơ kho một ba đồn để tên điện tu tan thọ nên một tàu cú học website ya www.palicheehealing.com để lấy nên bỏ nhớ đỡ nên khó screen này ya nên nó số hóa số cho nên bỏ đỡ nên lưu screen nó either ya nên sai phone hay nên sai hồ YouTube online này ya nên computer. The I don't want to ya la lu hadia PaLiChee Healing. PaLiChee na ya lumbe pe li khonen khoyai to khi la ro pe la cha tờ trâu tin neng giờ ya có ya Hmong là hai neng là si bẩn mai ya shua là si bẩn pe to nó to thả cho nu nó thiết cho nu man để theo Wednesday pe to thả sở hoa sở cho nó để si nu nó pe ya thả cho cái sở neng là ya sở tu khen hai tia ya sở tu khen na ya chai li ta thế tia. Today, we are going to discuss the 5 core principles of self-rise on the shamanic journey. And one being that it's been misinterpreted or maybe interpreted in a different way. And we need to clarify what these two differences are, okay? So from the perspective of self-rise, it's not simply about gathering knowledge from books, videos, like YouTube videos, or another healer of some sort, or external resources somewhere. It begins with an inner calling. So you must have an inner calling, a deep pull towards your spiritual growth. Because if you're trying to seek the spiritual growth, if you're trying to seek what's more to it than meets the eye, then you must be a person that has been innately called, right, from your inner calling from spirit to come out and to be directed from spirit in order to seek a greater understanding of yourself and your purpose, or what is this road to the purpose or a purpose, right? Sometimes we say that the purpose isn't really like somewhere that you're going towards, but it is what you're doing now. That is the purpose. True self-rise begins with transformation, or the willingness to transform within before it can be reflected outward. And we've also seen things such as self-rise programs to help you self-rise. Now, if you've seen these programs to help you self-rise, this is not the self-rise that I'm talking about. This is the other self-rise where you're seeking, books, videos, programs to help you self-rise. You're going to external resources. What we are talking about today, that is the true self-rising healer, is one that gets it innately. It is an inner calling, and it is the speaking and being trained by spirit, with spirit, from the get-go, from the very beginning. That is the true self-rising healer. Now, it doesn't make one better than the other. It doesn't make one like, oh my gosh, I want to be a self-rising healer because it's so unique, because the title is unique. Forget about the title. That's what you want to do, because it has nothing to do with the title of self-rise or self-rising healer. It has everything to do with how you practice, your moral character, your virtue, your values, and what you can put on the table when it comes to what you can do, what your performance is. It's not to do anything with the title of self-rise. So get that straight. I want to speak to my Hmong speakers out there and the viewers out there. That's okay. Nó show to king. Ni pin da ikha hatia. Neng yai pula chaka shia. Pula kwak heka. Pula heka chicheng chuchu. Chita ko yamu nung la le tua tia. Oh ya neng ya kekulina ya chalita. Nó có chỉ ta nung lên từ li nâng ya yên khai có ya cho chân chủ chủ ya. It's very clear, very focusing clear. Ấy có chỉ ta ya nung ya chỉ ta ya mu shua hạt ya ô ya linh tờ ya ô li cha thế tia ya cũng bao số li nó nâng là khí chú chỉ rồi cú li nó ya linh tờ cú ya ô li cha thế tia nó ya thổ có bí cái hồ nắng lỡ là ya bí sợ nắng này ya lo hay nó có bí sợ nắng về xài to tia có nắng ya yên lọ khẽ có chứ chẳng chủ lỡ chỉ ta có nung lên từ là lên lỡ tủ lì giờ ya có nhẹ có chỉ có bỏ có giờ giờ ya lên từ nhớ rồi có chỉ nâng chơi dài là có chỉ ta yo nung lên từ gì con nắng yên khẽ có ya khó chẳng kia lỡ thổ có bí chỉ ta yo mỗi tuần nâng chỉ có lỡ là ya hạt tia có tới chỉ tao muốn cái ít cái hạt tia có một ít tu có một sai dài ít tu này có khéo có hạt tia có một nắng nọ có cho nắng dinh su su là khéo có kia hạt tia có bây giờ có cho nắng nở này ạ là như là khéo li nọ đó có thổ cú su su bi cú li khó nắng khó dài là khéo li nọ đó cú là cỏ cú bữa thổ cú ya ói sông lợ chỉ lỡ là khéo nó một son tua sông óp hà cầu chỉ cầu trâu, ok, ở phía cầu chỉ cầu trâu, nhưng mà nói chỉ là mà kia khoác kia cho cái nâng dài, thế là ở chân, ở nâng ở dài, ok, chỉ có nói thế thì giờ tụi tin nâng ở self rise thế tia, tụi tin nâng ở nữ sơ nữ tụi khinh thế tia, vì thế chỉ là cú sơ của tụi khinh là chỉ cú yêu muốn thiệt khó nó muốn thiệt giản đó giản nó muốn cho tụi nó thả bể ton là ha, ấy lỡ kia cho nè nó chú ý đó cú là giờ lúc chú ý đó cú là giờ là kia cú ở bây giờ hay thì yo có ôn nâng mà ôn nói nó giờ chỉ mua khó dùng đi nó học cú lúc nâng được cú cho kỹ năng cái gì được cho kỹ năng cái gì tụi tin nâng giờ sợ tụi khinh nó giờ nâng dài khó kia khó nói giờ khó definition là giờ khó cái lú được cú tụi khinh cú mất cho đâu lo lú hay thì self rise nó tụi nâng nữ sớ nữ tụi khinh thì tiền nó xài đi trả thì tiền chỉ do tụi nâng yêu mù ตื่นเตอแล้วยอใช้วิดีโอแล้วยอมุมลงเลยเรื่องเลยตูซีฟูนอตูซีฟูต่อก็แต่ตูซีฟูถ่าจะกินยังไงไอ้มาลีนึมาลีละโอ้จะจวนนึตัวแค่นี้ละยอไอ้ละยอเดี๋ยวละมั่วเลยจะ注意ไอ้เจ้าละชี้注意我能我ใหญ่只用你เนาะกินยังไงเสือตัวแค่เนอะกินยังไงเสือตัวแค่กู要破论เจ้าตัวนี้ฮะเดียกินยังไงเสือตัวแค่เนาะđợt cũ tụi khen xứ lại lần lượt tụi mà cô chỉ bao nữa,แต่ชินđợt cũ tụi khen xứ dễ chạy to tiệt, nên dài là khó khăn co, thầu xứ xứ thơ kia, có sợ nên sợ dài, có chen nên là ya nên dài là, hoặc có chen, chỉ ta lên từ yo, chỉ có, ok, còn nó thì yo chạy to để tụi nên,你sợ tụi khen, chỉ mua xí phu, nữa ok, còn nó chỉ đi trong đi nó nữa. Giờ này họ chỉ tao nó là nên tàu đỡ tôi cũ rồi đỡ nếu hu tụ sáu tông là những tàu tàn thọ thế giờ này họ sẽ thả cho cái sở tụ khen nó vậy rồi nu nó cú lú phòng nước khí rồi này ta xin nó tụ number này bỏ giờ nhớ trong đỡ bé họ description below này vậy tụ number đỡ giờ cũng nhớ cái gì 763-319-8377 xa trâu bé bé ý chua gì bé xa xa nên tàu lúc phòng tôi được cuốn đâu cũng thả cho cái nén dài sợ tụ khen nữa okay của hai cho nó biết cho nó nu nó. Second point is spirit is the greatest teacher. Tại tôi thì tụ nè nó khôn nén tụ khôn dài nữa do có tụ này khu là do tụ nè nó si phu này ạ khó khăn có một năng thầu có bí kia có hồn năng nữa chỉ ta có yêu một sai dài đó là lần là tu hay tiệt có thể liệp bỏ để có một năng chỉ ta hay tiệt có yêu một hoặc còn ít tu sư phụ chỉ có ấy có thể liệp chừng một năng có những số chừng được có tu khen có khả năng khoa dài những là một có những là một chỉ mà có thể liệp chừng thiết chừng là chỉ là tiệt chừng chỉ bao đã chỉ chen thì có bỏ khá khá để có anh này nó khó anh này nó gây tận đây gây thì thì bé thì bao thì chỉ một đầu thì bị cho nó có yếu ở đó chỉ ấy có thì bỏ hạt để có ở đó chỉ nó có lì hậu nén hậu dài có yếu ở đó chỉ nó có tụ khen có thể lì chơi nó có cho hậu cao hậu kế nén dài tan đó họ nói do nén dài khó khăn okay hai nhân gia thì hai chữ chân hai chữ chủ thì nên dài ya tụ su là khó khăn có mà có thể là hai tụ có tụ khen thì hai thì biết tụ hai thì có ya ý tụ tin nên có sợ nên có tụ khen chỉ mua sư phụ nữa họ ya thì có ổ li nó mêแต่是ก็chỉ bảo hai thì ya ổ li giả có chỉ bảo hai thì ya ya nên ya khai nó ấy cứ chạy tàu đi chả nó cứ chỉ chạy này nhở ấy có chỉnh yếu tàu chạy này nhở ý là đi rang bao số na ấy có bao số có chỉnh yếu tàu chạy nó chỉ chạy tàu tiệt còn nó ấy có chỉnh yếu tàu muốn thiệt là lên là tụ là ba cái chạy lại có chia chỉ tàu có chia chỉ tàu hả tiệt là hai đi chả nó con này chị chỉnh chỉ tàu chân chỉnh chỉ tàu măng thế có trình tàu sĩ chú ý nó gì sai tàu thì có trình tàu sĩ ideas ya idea bên nó resource bên nó lo ua cái chân năng này ya đời là lưng là tù ya sĩ hư là có muốn long là tù này ya ấy có mà lấy sĩ chú ý lo ba cái tụ khinh này gì còn nó sai tàu thì chỉ năng ya khai có sĩ chú ý thế có muốn mua là tù lý chú ý lo ba cái tụ khinh có thể lý trình năng theo thì có yếu tố mua credit đâu là lưng là tù tàu khoác khi có muốn long了นะแล้วchỉ bảo là có muốn long了nhưng mà nó có yếu tố mua credit yếu tố mua khó này nó hay tiệt có rong xia hay tiệt lỡ khi có thế là khoác có ấy có thì li mua chú ý mua có li quan nên quan dài hay giờ tiệt quan nên chỉ tàu là khoác khi có thế là khi có là có chỉ tàu bao chứ chân hay tiệt uli trà có chỉ tàu một sai dài có chỉ tàu một thơ ít tu sư phụ có chỉ tàu một thọ là nên là tu là ya sư phụ là ya ít tu niệm năng chỉ năng bê tông là ha lý trà là sư phụ có tàu uli nọ này ya có uli nọ lỡ này chỉ trả tàu tiệt có yếu tàu mua ít tu sư phụ có lý thế lý chân có hồ năng có cho khả năng yếu khi chỉ tàu có ta thiết chữ chân thiết chủ ấy có thể liệu ở tàu thiết sở tàu có tụ khen ý lăng ấy chỉ một sư phụ nữa 头中的那些个有到莫师傅，还是真的呢。那些要我被害造 the spirit is the greatest teacher. While teachers, books, and education can provide valuable support, I'm not discrediting any teacher, any sifu that you might go to, that you need to go to, or any books or education, not discrediting and putting any of these resources down because they're all great resources. But that is where my experience, I didn't come from that. I didn't come from reading books, going to a teacher or sifu, or being educated spiritually. I was educated strictly from the get-go from Spirit Guide. That's why I call myself with the title to differentiate the difference in my journey versus some other shaman's journey, that I am a self-rising healer without a sifu. If you can see that that's my main video on my channel. I'm not also saying that the title is superior to anybody else's, because it's not. But it's to differentiate the difference in how my journey was when I rose, okay, with Spirit Guide. Now, these valuable resources are not viewed as the ultimate the ultimate source of spiritual wisdom. Many people on self-rise paths believe that their deepest lessons truly do emerge from and through prayer, meditation, contemplation, dreams, intuition, nature, and personal spiritual experiences. And if you've had this, it's part of your self-rising journey, but you can't put the label on yourself, right, that you were fully self-rising without a sifu, because you went to external knowledge, which is great as well. It's just as great, right? But you have to give credit where credit is due so that your spiritual journey can open up to you even better, okay? External knowledge can inform the mind, but inner spiritual experience is what shapes the soul. If you've been on the spiritual journey and you feel like your soul is not quite where you want it to be, that means that you haven't gone to your innate spiritual gifts and abilities. You have learned a lot and you pulled a lot of resources together, and that's helped you on the journey. And you may not have given a sifu the credit that they deserve, or someone that you've been watching as a sifu or teacher from a distance, their credit, what you should acknowledge from them. If they've given you that knowledge or that gold nugget, whatever it may be, you need to give them the credit, okay? And this is about maybe like what? 75 to 85, 95% of the time, how you got there, okay? How you got there. 这个神能神呀呢，也一直给我多么一个给这些人住，木头都顶能你都起这给了高呀，但是你只要个都师傅，但是你起到路好中了高了。nhưng bà nói thầu nước khí tôi lúc họ trong đó có giờ do nước hai ở bên ngay lú là do những khí thì tia xài tôi tiền để cái san chu pli nước là khí lúc họ trong đó có là gì có yếu tàu nam là có tàu mua cho cái rong xia để xia đến chữ mù hai tiền nước yên ba tàu có thiệt nè họ do để chỉ mua ít tu nên tàu ba có lì ấy có ở tàn thọ có tu kinh sư có giờ do hai khó nói chân khó nói đa là luôn tu bỏ có cho con nên bảo có tàn thọ khó chân và khó nhỏ trong đó có chỉ mua nên tu bảo thì chỉ có bảo ya giờ khó nói gì do tờ chữ sĩ nữa có cho cái khó tin nên do tờ chữ sĩ nữa hả tiệt con gà đã chỉ là cho sầu trong hả tiệt có ba tổ nên rong bò đi cha, hai đứa có ba tổ có tụ khen, họ có luôn nên rong bò đi cha, còn nó thoát đa có tụ khen nữa, có hai trái chân yon thua chủ đó có tụ khen, mà có li hồn nâng thế thì mù tô, thế mù cho, họ rong chắp lờ nó mò, cho nó cũng khoác kia, luôn nên nó hai đứa hai lú nhia lú cu,แต่是要ใช้ในปอ还得要ลညลกูตรงนี้เทียยันนี่จีปอละขนาดจี要ลညลกูตรงนี้แต่是要ตัวตุตินนึงหนูปอเทหนูปอ还得要ลညลกู don't know呢. Number 8 y'all. Self-rise is built through direct spiritual experience. 才到啲個手個圖傾呢呀，一圖個手個圖傾呢，你幫助下啲好個你個圖傾，個圖我就呀啦自動噶，唔噶碌可做你又可意你又可用你咋，個動噶即幾肉鮮肉爛肉女咯，你又啲幾麼勁勁，啲幾寧嘢噃，個動噶即幾用你咋，啲個可我呢咯擼寧，個有水寧水樣的。Basically, self-rise is built through spiritual experiences. A self-rise journey is often described as one of personal revelations, okay, things that you've gone through, that's revealed to you, okay, through your spiritual journey, rather than simply intellectual study. You can study all you want intellectually and be an intellectual person. But the self-rise journey truly happens when it's innate, gifted abilities and through your spiritual soul, the spiritual journey, right? That's why it's called spiritual journey, because it's your spiritual experience with your mind, with your body, with your spirit, the soul. Instead of relying only on information, individuals grow through living or lived experiences, living experiences, right? That deepen humility, compassion, discernment, and understanding. The key point here is spiritual wisdom develops through experience, reflection, consistent inner work, not only through acquiring information. Now, someone that is saying that they are doing this self-rising journey, they're trying to self-rise on themselves, but they go through a program. Or they try to self-rise, but they're watching some YouTube videos. This is not ultimately self-rising, but it is partially self-rising, right? You're partially self-rising because now you're getting external resources and information, and then you're also doing meditation, self-reflections, you're doing some inner work or shadow work, they call it. And you're also acquiring information. So yeah, it's partial, one and the other together. You are a partial self-rising healer, right? You're doing everything yourself. You're getting the information, you're getting the resources, and you're rising on yourself slowly but surely through different ways, right? And you're combining the two. So this is a partial self-rising healer. That's what I call it anyways, because spirit is not invigorating you, directing you on a day-to-day basis. You have to literally go and read resources, which is not saying that it's bad. So don't make it out to be like, oh my gosh, I can't say that I went to this resource or that resource or watched this other Sifu or this master on her YouTube video or his YouTube video. You want to give credit where credit is due. If you watched a ton of videos, just say you did your research, right? And then you also did your own meditations, and then you also self-reflected and you did your inner work, your shadow work, right? So if you say all these things and you give it credit, I promise you, you're gonna get through and get to your spiritual and shamanic journey easier, okay? It's gonna be easier. It may not be easy situations, but it will eventually be easier for you, as in the spiritual ways or karmic ways. Number 4, transformation comes before service. So in the self-rising journey, the true self-rising journey, where the spirit comes and invigorates you initially, right? And it comes and gives you guidance initially. You have no guidance from anyone, not another Sifu, not another resource externally. This is all yourself, or when I say yourself, this is your soul speaking to you, your intuition, along with spiritual guidance, okay? So transformation comes before service. Before guiding or helping others, a self-rise journey encourages a person first to confront their own fears, wounds, and attachments, and of course, the patterns. Personal transformation becomes the foundation of serving with integrity and compassion. If you haven't had that from the get-go, don't have a lot of integrity, you were not a person with a lot of humility, you were not really humble or grateful for things, and you didn't show it or couldn't show it, and there was still this feeling of, oh, I don't want to do this for this other person because they don't deserve it. They don't deserve my presence. They don't deserve me to do this for them. If you're still going on about like this in your mind, then of course, there's still some transformation to go on and go through. If you are still holding grudges, that's going to be a big work at it, right? A transformation. You must serve with integrity and compassion. If you're still kind of saying, oh, I want to do good for everybody, but then I don't really want to do good for this person because they don't deserve it. They may not deserve it, but it's what you can provide. It's what your service is. It has nothing to do with their side. It has everything to do with your side of the formula. So serving with integrity and compassion is gonna get you there at ease or more smooth. Now, you may go through some tough times, and you continue to go through some tough times, because why? We often say the lessons through karma is always going to be there. Whether it's a little lesson or a huge wall, you're going to hit, right? So transformation comes before service. You don't want to automatically go, here, let me go grab this resource and that resource, and I start doing service. Meaning I start doing healings on people right after this self-rising program that I went through. I now can become this healer that I can help somebody. It comes through the point where, are you transformed? Are you in the transformation? Have you seen yourself transformed from point A to point B, or point A to point Z for some of you, right? You cannot authentically lead others or help them where you have not first been willing to grow yourself. And just by giving a little bit of time, energy, money, perhaps, and you're now doing some work, inner work, and you've transformed somewhat, can that also mean that you can authentically lead others? Because you're willing to grow by a little. You may be able to do this authentically, but by as much as what you are willing to grow with. Get that? But no more than that, right? So you gotta understand that key point. In Hmong, cho cái yo tao nda tu khen ha tia mu sho o I tu tin neng lo pa tu khen sư là ya ka te ko ya pa ka chen neng là ya te ko ya pa lo leng lo tu là yan dia ten dia tu lo hai no ya mu da fa da fa on te ko ya o tao li no ye yo pong to kho ha tia ko kho bo tao ka tu khen ya ko kho chi to ka tu khen ya ko li an na neng yai ba có chỉ tàu chỉ có nhà tàu mù trâu là lên là tù yếu tàu mù trâu ít tu si hư còn đi siết cha đi cho con nên siết cha có là do sim bầu rõ chỉ ní thiết liệt ba tàu có bỏ cho cá cho kế trâu có là ba khó có rồng có hú có tia có tù mà nó chỉ có thiết liệt ô tàu cho kế đỡ có tụ khen hạt tia cú sở tàu đi chả cú thiết liệt sở mù em mù ô tàu có li hồn nén mũ có cho có li hồn nén hồi dài có hai tia có bảo tàu này ạ ít tu nén ni yên sĩ tàu lợ chạy tàu này ạ chỉ tại chạy để có yên sĩ de tia thì có yên hai tia đỡ có tu khen trâu ni chỉ sống ta chỉ sống ta nó trâu lúc xí hơi ta xin nó có bộ bỏ có tu khen bảo đêm bảo đi cha lại bảo trơn bảo đi cha cho cái bảo này ạ khó kế của yo ba tàu có hai tia tận đây nó có yo mu ba tin năng na cái ba tàu rong bồ đi cha yo có lúc xia chính chỉ tàu bảo lo hẹn đỡ hai tia chỉ là cổ sông ta lo thế rồi có lúc xia họ mày rồi bỏ thế rồi có chỉ nhia lên từ bỏ thế rồi có hai lù là hai nhân thả bỏ nên chỉ mà nó chỉ cho lúc xia tại nó cổ là chỉ sông ta nó có chuyện ôn nó ta nó có chuyện ôn tới thiệt nó chỉ có bốn chia có tụ khen có đại đua hay chỉ có bộ tô bầu lờ đêm bộ đi chả có lúc xia lỡ tiểu có sổ ya chén nó có lúc chơi mùa có tụ khen có nè nó cho đi cho kế có ô là có ná đi cho có nọ bà nếu bầuแต่是tiểu có lúc xia chỉ tao tao bầu thiệt nó chỉ chỉnh chuan tao ya mù cá mù con nữa có tụ khen giờ có liên quan đến ô chỉ tao chỉ có tao mù tờ nữa có tụ khen tờ mù thiệt cái ba rồi có tụ khen có mua là lên là tụ là ba có là khơ con đó cậu là con da cá cậu ấy có thiết lý sở tàu nữa có tụ khen giờ có chỉ có khú xỉ lũ đa rõ là có khú xỉ nhiệt chia giờ có chính thế con trai là lên là tụ bao giờ có để có chỗ ua tàu liệt khó có xì liệt khó có ua thế khó nên hay là do nó có tụ khen muốn thia đỡ thia video lò sai là chùa có chỗ ô tô bảo đi thiết xì đi khó có tụ khen ô tàu sư nó nữa. So number 5, self-rise is a lifelong relationship with the sacred. So self-rising is not viewed as a destination or a title. I spoke about that before. It's not a destination that you got to get to fully, okay? Like there's like this end of the road, but it's ongoing and continuous, okay? There is an end stage or an end phase, and that's what I'm talking about when I say get to a point A to point Z or point A to point B. There is an end of that destination for that phase or stage, but there's never the end of that road or that path or a title, okay? So it's an ongoing commitment to spiritual growth, self-examination, humility, and remaining open to deeper understanding throughout life, throughout your whole journey in life. The journey is not about providing spiritual ability, like always trying to get some kind of ability, to do some kind of different ability, but it is to be unique. Because if you truly go on a self-rising journey, or even the rising journey with a sifu or teacher, it still will happen to be, can you feel what is innately there for you? Can you actually be bridged to your innate gifts and ability to be unique as who you should be, not who you saw or where you got your resources from, but can you be innately unique? Most of you, if you have a sifu, you're going to be very similar to your sifu. You're going to have the similar want, needs, desires, or similar compatibilities as your sifu or teacher. You're going to be similar, okay? But there's still going to be a part of you that's very unique to you. And that's where the difference will be, as in who you are. Not your title that, I want to be a self-rising healer without a sifu, and I'm going to try to self-rise, right? Most people that self-rise, and there's very few of them that truly self-rise, don't choose to be self-rise. They don't choose that title. It just so happens to be, okay? It happens without truly wanting it, without truly saying, I want to be a self-rising healer without a sifu, okay? It just so happens to be. It is an ongoing commitment with spiritual growth. You have to examine yourself spiritually. You have to also now see what level are you on your humility. How humble are you? How much integrity do you come from and do you exude? Okay, how much compassion do you exude? And if you do it on intention, as in purposely doing it, then obviously that's not your natural compassion, because then you won't be consistent, right? You have to be compassionate in a consistent way. But the thing is that you don't want to also induce yourself to be a kind person, to be a person that always wants to bless people, if you're not, because it won't come off authentic. Just remain open to the deeper understanding throughout your life, Be willing to be open to having a sifu, to be willing to be open to saying, I don't have to be self-taught to be great. I can have a sifu and I can still be great as long as I'm bridged to my innate gifts and abilities. The journey is not really about providing spiritual ability at all. Yes, your abilities are there and they're important and they're key, but it is about continually deepening your relationship with your spiritual and sacred self, allowing your relationship to build along the way. Because along the way is, if you're doing it authentically, then that is the purpose, right? You just have to face your truth, basically. I'm going to stop right here. And those of you that have questions for me, type it down and put it in the chat. Nếu ít khó kế của ta lúc nâng, giờ thấu có sở tụ khen lỡ, nên nó nên nhà là su là có, chỉ ta有mỗi tụ sư phụ chỉ có, còn nó chỉ ya để có sự chuẩn lên số tụ ô li cũ, là有ô li nó, ấy thế là有cha li chắp lỡ, có giờ mua sư phụ là có yên cha li tàu, ok, có giờ mua sư phụ là có chúa nếu mua khó tiệt, có ô mu cho có li hồn nâng. Có mù tao cho kỹ nhân dân, có lúc xuyên nhân dân, có lúc xuyên đâu hú. Có chỉ có mù đa, có nhẹ là lưng là tù. Là do hạt tiệt có dài. Hạt tiệt có tới một cỡ, họ chú non đỡ là tù, thì có đa thì có lý chú. Còn nó chỉ có ít khỏi có nhân dân rồi có cho kỹ hồn nâng hồn dài, là do cho kỹ ổn nâng. Cho kỹ ổn nâng nó, cho kỹ có xã tàu rộng, có tàu hay khó chân. Yo to hai khó yo khó chủ, yo to khó chân khó chủ lỡ chỉ mua lên từ yo hai to có, chỉ mua lên từ yo hai tiệt yo lìa to hai tiệt có đa, vì hai tiệt có chỉ to đa là lỡ lìa có đa là có yên chỉ xấu, bây giờ tiệt khó kế bé thả cho nó nói kế sợ nắng tụ khen, yo to có sợ có tụ khen lỡ, tiệt có yên chỉ trái lên từ cho nên cho kế hai tiệt có yo hai tiệt ô có yên sợ tụ khen chỉ mua si phu tiệt. Để chỉ cô hai này ít khó gì thia, hai ta là hai đua. Cho kế sở tụ khen nó, bà cơ, là có yên ở tông cả ít tù, si hư, còn như Charlie thia, Charlie chắp lờ, là cha có, cho kế ổn nên ngồi dài, là cha có nữa, là hai tia là ổn nên nó chớ có. Lúc đã rõ là ở ít thanh nên chớ có là cha có, để rồi tôi chơi ý sẽ để rồi chỉ là cha li ý thế, nhân để tụ ya. Để chỉ giờ có khoan nên kia thế khó con bảo đi cha thế anh cha bảo đi cha là bà cơ yên ya tông cả ý tu sư phụ là khó thế cha có thể li mu tàu thầu có li hồn nên hồi dài. Who we call this person, okay, a sifu. So no matter what, however you rise, whether you're self-rising or not self-rising, or you're the other self-rising where you get the resources and you partially do it yourself, and then you partially get resources, and you go back and forth doing that. Or if you need a sifu and you have a sifu, no matter which kind or where you go, at the end of the day, you're going to have to get connected with a sifu or master teacher or grandmaster to help initiate you so that you can get into your true innate gifts and abilities. Okay? You already have these innate gifts and abilities as a self-rising healer, like the true self-rising healer that the spirits come and teach you, right? They're teaching you this whole time. But at the end of the day, you will also need to be initiated to get past the gates, okay? To get past the gates, to become a master, to become a grandmaster. Grandmaster, maybe not so much, but a master, to initially become a master teacher or a master sifu. A sifu can be a sifu, but sifu may not be a master teacher, a master sifu. So there's differences in that as well. But these are all just titles. They're simply titles. But what truly happens is when what you put and what you can bring to the table, what you can bring as a result. That's going to be where it happens. You may not be a Sifu. You may not be a Grand Master. You may not want to call yourself that. I didn't. But when Spirit trains and teaches you and gives you a title, then you may need to call yourself that. But for some and most, they choose to call themselves by a certain title. Okay? And this is what most get wrong, is they think that someone that calls himself a master, this one and that one, is because they're all equally the same. No one is equally the same when it comes to shamanic practice, when it comes to innate gifts and abilities. Everyone is unique. Everyone is on different levels. And the person that chooses to call themselves that, that's their choice. But the one that is called by Spirit, that is another whole different world. Okay? So that's the difference between self-rise versus self-rise. I'm going to take a moment to talk about my book. If you guys have been on the spiritual journey and you're trying to self-rise, which I know a ton of you are, okay, by spiritual channeling. That's my spiritual statistics. Then I know that a ton of you are trying to self-rise, either because of the title, you want that title, or because you really want to challenge yourself. And for some of you, you are maybe the other self-rise type, which is you're gathering resources and you're also doing your own meditation. Because we have to go back to the root. How did you begin? Did you meet with a reader, a shamanic master that helped you open the door, and then now you went and got resources and then self-rose on yourself, by yourself? And then now you're also trying to get a master teacher because you've gone to the height or the top of where you can go, and now you need to have somebody? Anyways, on this spiritual journey, everyone goes through their own experiences. You choose your experiences, but sometimes it's your spiritual guides that chooses that path for you. If you've been chosen, or if you've been called, if you've been chosen, meaning that you're choosing the path, okay? You're choosing the path due to whatever the consequences, whatever the situations were. It's been bombarding you, making your life hard. Then you're choosing the shamanic path, right? Or the path of the unique healer. If you've also been called by your innate gifts and ability to go into this path, and you are being taught by Spirit, this book it's a teaching memoir. It is a memoir of my experiences, whether it's a paranormal, spiritual experience, NDEs that I've been through, or just life and death situations that I've been through. I talk about it in this book. If you want to know more about the spiritual and shamanic journey, this is the book for you. If you've been going through shamanic illnesses, whether it's a mental, emotional, or actual physical illness that appears before you in your body, and it's giving you aches and pains, or whatever it may be, hardship, this is the book for you. On the side, you'll see a QR code. That's where you can go and find the book on Amazon. My book is also on Barnes & Noble as well. I'm going to leave the QR code there, but this is what I have for you. If this is the resource that I have for those of you that are looking for resources. Looking for resources and going to resources, there's nothing wrong with that. I want to make it clear. There's also nothing wrong with meditating on your own and then utilizing that as well. Don't go with wanting and challenging yourself for that title when you have options to go in a vehicle that takes you there faster. Okay. And that can also then initially, and at the end of the day, initiate you and invigorate you into and bridge you to the correct celestial or higher benevolent spiritual guides. Sometimes the spirits that guide you may not be pure, may not be both good or all good, maybe both good and not good. We spoke about this the other day. Then it will take you some more time to funnel through and try to find what is the true answer. If it's taking you time to funnel through and you're trying to find this and that and going through the answers, that means that there has not been a breakthrough and you need a breakthrough. Okay? Sometimes people go through their own experiences to break through. And when they do break through, it might be a small breakthrough. It may be a big breakthrough. It may be the breakthrough. But those are very slim chances, right? And they may cause life and death situations or a leg and arm, we say, as in just metaphorically speaking. Right now, I also want to share, because I know it's worked for me greatly. And you can call in if you have questions. You can also type it at the comments section or the chat on the side. Ito says, love when you speak Hmong. I hope that's a good compliment, but I'll take it as one. I have the Love and Attraction Balm here, okay? These are real balms here. So Love and Attraction Balm. Love and Attraction Balm. Okay, love attracting. I will also show this here. We have these balms out here, and they are available for purchase on my website. They are the Uplifting Boost Balm and the Love Attracting Balm. So the Uplifting Boost Balm gives you, especially if you're a rising healer or somebody that needs good energy, to boost the good energies up and basically release or remove any negative or unwanted energies. It is also great for the physical body to help with any aches or pains or shamanic illness. Okay, it's helped me. I call it my healer's balm. This is the Uplifting Boost Balm. Now, the Love and Attracting Balm that you see in red, it is to help attract in love. Love for self-love, or love in general that needs to come into your life, whether it's a romantic love relationship or whether it's sibling love or parent love. Whatever love that is that you need into your life, it will bring in that type of love in the moment, in the time that you utilize this love attracting balm. Right now is the time to call if you want to speak. If you want to ask a question, I know some of you are watching from Florida. We see Real Inspiration Motive watching from Florida. We also see Westlow from Stormy Chicagoland. He waves. Juju Chi for good luck energy. For those of you that are watching, go share, go like this video. Also, if you're on YouTube, go subscribe and hit that notification bell if you're new to the channel and you're just listening in today. Today we talked about self-rise and self-rise versus self-rise, two different definitions of self-rise, and which one is going to be the one that at least I talk about it in the way on my videos and through my channel is self-rise and healer without a sifu. Others may talk about it as a different type of self-rise. They've gone through videos or programs or whatever, but they're also doing some work on their own. That's partial self-rise. At the end of the day, you're going to still need that sifu to initiate you to become that master healer. In closing, okay, so call whenever you need, whenever, for whatever reason. That's why it's called Dear Master Shaman PaLiChee Show. But in the last 10 minutes that I have here, self-rise is not merely the pursuit of knowledge in and of its own. It's the pursuit of transformation. While books, teachers, education, and all these resources can be enriching and great on the journey, okay? They are very good resources for you, very good help, okay? They also are supportive rather than substitute for inner work. So they complement your inner work. The heart of self-rise is cultivating a sincere relationship with the sacred knowledge. This is the innate knowledge that's inside of you. That is also your spiritual guides that comes through. And if you don't know your spiritual guides, you don't hear them, or you just have a knowing, then you need that sifu. Okay, you need the sifu, the correct one at least, to get you there. And you won't know the correct one. We'll have a different video upon how to search for that sifu. But allowing wisdom to emerge through lived experiences, integrity, and lifelong commitment to spiritually grow. So at the end of the day, even a self-rising healer will need to be initiated by a higher vibration individual, which is we call a master sifu or a benefactor, okay, or a grandmaster. The benefactor is someone that is able to open that door and initiate you. They may not have been your sifu throughout your journey, but they are able to and willing to open that bridge for you, or bridge your innate gifts and abilities to you. If you already have your gifts and abilities, they're also able to initiate you into that world. Now, this helps for you to cross the threshold of a spiritual seeker to a true shamanic healer or practitioner, and to become that unique healer that you need to be authentically. Because we're trying to build more unique and authentic healers, not charlatans out there, okay? Not people that can't face the truth because they need to face that truth. I'll tell you that there's a lot of truth that was in my book, okay? Lots of truths there that I share. So choosing a high vibrational individual is also important to perform the work due to the energy that you desire to embody for the rest of your shamanic journey. Because who you choose as your sifu or teacher or your master, that is the energy that is going to be embodied in you or around you for the rest of your shamanic journey. This is the awakening of humanity on earth, whether you like it or not. This is the time of awakening. If you're not moving on your shamanic journey, then you may be behind. And for some of you, you may be 10, 20, or 30 years behind on your shamanic journey. But it also isn't to say that it's too late. It's to say that it is time. It is time. If you've been confused, now you know the difference between self-rising healer versus, and this is a self-rising healer without a sifu. But if you're self-rising, the other self-rising, that you've gone to resources, did programs to self-rise, went to external resources, books, videos, whatever, then you must say to yourself that I am partially self-rising, right? But I have a sifu. I have somebody that also taught me. Now is the time for you to become more conscious to the universal truths and yours of why both exist. So why does the universal truth and yours exist? So that you can connect them, the dots together, and become who you need to. Because the universe, your truth needs to confirm with the universal truth. The universal truth confirms with your truth. And so you try to go and meet in the middle and see what that truth truly is. And when that truth meshes and synchronizes, then you're on your way, right? There's no more debate. There's no more concerns. It's what it is, it is. What is, right? There's no, whether you and I debate about it for days and years and whatever, what is will be. And that is the universal law of mankind. That is the laws that encompasses all of our lives, throughout our spiritual journey to get us there. But most of us are resistant. We are resisting. We are not willing to face this truth, or we are not willing to give credit where credit is due. We're not willing to hit the like and subscribe button, though it's free, to do so when we know that it's giving us 10x into our spiritual journey. I have a question here. Let's see. Ito says, I was going to ask how to find our seafood, but I guess you'll be talking about it next time. So somewhere along the line, Ito, I will discuss about finding your seafood. Now, how to, everybody has their own how-tos, right? But I'll discuss about that as well. Hi to Mr. Her or Miss Her, Jwa09. Hi. Warmest blessings. If you guys feel the need to talk about your spiritual journey or anything, if you want divine advice, I'm here for you on Mondays and Wednesdays to answer any questions that you may have and to do whatever that you may need. I'm going to pull a card for today. Okay, gonna pull a card. And it's free card pulls too. So if you want to call in, then you can get a free card pull. Of course, go do what the description says below so you can get that card pull. We have the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven of Pentacles out for us today. Dai pai na yo. Ya sha lu. Nu ko la ya dia sha lu. Coin. No, sha lu nyaku. This Seven of Pentacles card is telling us that it's the number 7, right? God number. God number on this show today, Dear Master PaLiChee show, is the God number 7 of Pentacles. The number 7 is very unique to God and is very unique to whoever listens here on this show is meant to be here. Whatever you're listening, wherever you're listening from, and what I'm talking about today, you needed to hear. You needed to hear, you needed to know more about so that you can move on and move forward in your spiritual journey. If you had thought about what am I lacking? Why am I at a halt? Why is it like this and that and it's going back and forth? Then that means you know exactly what it means, because that's why we talked about self-rise versus self-rise. You've been trying to self-rise for some of you, and some of you even have a seafood, but perhaps your seafood isn't really doing much for you. So maybe they have, but maybe it just went off the top of your head. I don't know. Who is to blame? We don't know. You have to be the one to know and decipher that, right? And I'm not putting any seafood out there down, but if you know that you aren't able to learn from a resource, an external resource other than yourself, then you must move on to the next. You must move on to where you can learn, where you can grow. If you can't learn and you can't grow, then you will be at a halt for years and years, even if it's by yourself. Okay? You're going to have to give that to yourself and discern. Some people try to self-rise by themselves for years and years and years and still be at a halt because they are not getting the clear spiritual direction. No clear spiritual direction means you must get a seafood, means you've got to get external resources and give credit where credit is due, because that's part of the virtue, values, and moral character. All right? So today, you're no longer confused on self-rise versus self-rise. You know where it's at. You know where it is. This is Master Shaman PaLiChee from PaLiChee Healing. If you have any questions, you know where to find me on Mondays and Wednesdays at the number in the description below. And if you want card pulls, you know where to find me at the description below. Personal sessions and or karma trauma healing. So karma trauma healing is done at PaLiChee Healing at www.palicheehealing.com. We also have 2 awesome independent shamanic practitioners trained by myself, and they are available for free consultations now and going I don't know how long they will offer that, but it is there and it is available. Okay. Warmest blessings and talk soon. Bye-bye.